This video is the first in a series and offers a brief overview of my most recent book, Fake Salvation in Modern Gnostic America. In this video, we're going to briefly explore the concept of Gnostic America. A more detailed explanation will be provided in the next video of this series. To start off, I'd like to share a portion of the introduction from my book. For roughly 200 years, dispensationalist pastors in mainstream American churches have been promoting a distorted version of salvation. Popular easy-believism has led countless individuals to feel a false sense of assurance regarding their eternal redemption. In reality, they were only being offered a deceptive illusion, a fake guarantee of salvation that carries no weight with God. This stems from the fact that modern American Christianity is fundamentally a revival of the Gnostic gospel that has existed for almost 2 millennia. Fortunately, the timing of my book's release, along with these videos, couldn't be better, as those who once firmly supported Protestant easy-believism and the dispensational gospel are now introducing conflicting conditions to their own teachings. We are also witnessing the long overdue collapse of many megachurches associated with figures like Rick Warren and Joel Osteen, along with numerous others of their kind. This trend marks a profound shift not only among these large congregations, but also within traditional churches across the nation. Many congregations are coming to an unsettling realization. The widely accepted model of American Christianity is deeply flawed, prompting introspection and a reevaluation of its practices and beliefs. This seismic upheaval suggests that many are seeking a deeper authenticity in their spiritual lives, moving away from the superficiality that has long characterized American Christianity. But why is this happening now? It appears that by borrowing the dispensational foundational teachings of behavior doesn't matter, Christ's finished work on the cross, the guarantees in 1 John 5:13, the sinner's prayer pseudo-conversion, and the awarding of instantaneous, irrevocable salvation, the homosexual community has found a cure for the chronic blindness of mainstream Protestantism and dispensationalism. The recent fracturing of many churches over this contentious issue is forcing pastors to either completely reverse their teachings or endorse the homosexual intrusion into the church. They've been painted into a corner. In this video and those that follow, I intend to illustrate how the entirety of American Protestantism has gradually degenerated into a more nuanced and insidious manifestation of the already distorted 19th century American Gnostic mindset. What began as a slow fall to the bottom, a Christianity that prioritized pleasing the masses and catering to their desires for a more palatable form of faith, has turned into a landslide. In the first century, the apostles and the early Christian martyrs were often killed for their steadfast refusal to worship the Roman gods and the emperor. In Roman society, this was viewed as an act of treason. The result of this choice, and it truly was a choice, included punishments such as crucifixion, being slowly cooked alive, torn apart by wild beasts, being skinned alive, and many other horrifying tortures. Most scholars believe that many self-identified Christians joined their pagan neighbors in public places, and then simply pretended to worship the Roman gods and the emperor. In a similar manner, those with money could bribe the local magistrate, obtain a genuine certificate of compliance, and settle the matter neatly and expeditiously, with the emperor, and presumably Christ, being none the wiser. This begs the question, how many contemporary self-identified Christians would actually choose to endure one of the Roman punishments, instead of simply pretending or fraudulently conforming to the demands of those in power? It doesn't seem like it would be a big deal nowadays. I suspect that virtually all modern self-identified American Christians would choose to tell a little white lie and move on. We can probably all agree that, given the consequences, a small fib seems like a harmless and sensible compromise. But why didn't the apostles and martyrs play the same game? Well, unfortunately for them, Jesus had taught them that hell is real, and that in the time of trial, those who refused to stand firm would face eternal damnation. Throughout the New Testament, these warnings recur frequently, as in Revelation 12:11, where we are told that martyrs love not their lives unto the death, meaning Jesus commanded them to remain faithful even when faced with martyrdom. Of course, in Matthew 10:28, Jesus addresses this exact situation when saying, "Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." Jesus knew that, in the very near future, the apostles and their followers would face this choice. When that time came, he wanted them to remember that, although Roman punishments would be agonizingly painful, their suffering would soon come to an end, either within hours or days, as death would inevitably take its course. Jesus made it clear that should they decide not to pursue the path laid out for them, the suffering they would face in hell would be unimaginably more profound and everlasting. As faithful, true believers, they had no choice but to follow through. While talk of eternal damnation is rare these days, the apostles and early martyrs firmly believed in it, having heard Jesus' warnings firsthand. He gave them no leeway or room for alternative interpretations. If those were the only two options, then neither was appealing. However, there was always the possibility that someone seeking popularity could think outside the box and propose an alternative Christianity that people of the time, as well as future generations, would find appealing and eager to adopt. Enter a man named Valentinus, who almost became Bishop of Rome around 140 AD. To be eligible for that position, he likely held a traditional Christian perspective. However, after being rejected, he underwent a significant transformation and was subsequently expelled from the Church of Rome. Valentinus traveled east and began to preach a very appealing form of Christianity that grew like wildfire, almost overtaking and destroying apostolic Christianity. His new Christianity spread rapidly throughout Northwest Africa, Egypt, and even as far away as Syria and Asia Minor. The secret to the impressive growth of his new church was his masterful appeal to human pride and vanity. Instead of focusing on the notion of giving your life for Christ, as preached by the apostles, Valentinus captivated his self-serving followers with a version of Christianity tailored to their innate human desires. One that resonated with his contemporaries and has continued to attract people throughout the ages. Pay attention to his choice of words, and you'll grasp its widespread appeal. Valentinus had little difficulty convincing potential converts that they were uniquely exceptional people who were called and glorified and personally given the gift of knowing the Father through the power of Christ. His church growth spiel reached a climactic crescendo when he told his listeners that their inner emotions were proof of their salvation, that their place in heaven was guaranteed, and that they could know for sure that they were from above. Their certainty of salvation was based on his distortion of Scripture in combination with their own spiritual self-assessment, thus its popularity and ready acceptance. Moreover, Valentinus composed his own biblical-sounding books, including his key text, which he called the Gospel of Truth. This was part of his effort to bolster his new Christian movement, known as Gnosticism. As Gnostic expert Philip Lee wrote in 1987, the Gnostic texts were written so that the Gnostics could know the certainty of their own salvation. Of the committed Christians, the conformist Christians, or the Valentinian Gnostics, it was probably the Valentinian Gnostics who were most firmly and unquestionably convinced of the certainty of their salvation, since their prideful focus was on themselves rather than on God. Valentinus had expertly shaped their beliefs and, aided by the always lethal and toxic pitfall of group pride, had effectively stripped their hearts of any capacity for honesty. Speaking of honest hearts, which of the three do you think most resembles the modern American church? Is it the committed Christian church where professing Christians give their all and even their lives for Christ? Is it the pretentious Christian church where professing Christians have much higher priorities than Jesus Christ and, outside a spattering of Jesus on their lips, seem to live pretty much like their pagan neighbors? Or is it the Gnostic church where their leader had little difficulty convincing potential converts that they are uniquely exceptional people who were called and glorified and personally given the gift of knowing the Father through the power of Christ, and where the people clung to this particular message because their primary focus rather than loving and serving God, appears to have been centered on having their salvation guaranteed with scriptural-sounding justifications. Interestingly, it was not only Valentinus, but also Marcion and other Gnostic churches that experienced astronomical growth. Their doctrines differed, but they shared this commonality. They distorted Scripture to guarantee irrevocable salvation to their listeners. It doesn't take a deeply spiritual perspective to recognize that this calculated and appealing Gnostic formula for church growth has been adopted by almost every modern American church. The next video in our chapter-by-chapter series will be on Chapter 2, Modern American Gnosticism. If you discovered something new or interesting today, please give the like button a click and subscribe. I'll be sharing more videos in this 15-part series, so stay tuned.